Welcome to America at Night with McGraw-Millhaven.
All right, every Thursday we're checking in with Bill Cleveland. He is our roving correspondent. Of course, the website says it all, BillOnTheRoad.com. And Bill Cleveland, welcome back to America at Night.
Thanks, McGraw. Good to be with you.
When last we left you, you were in your pajamas trying to get back into your hotel room because you had locked yourself out of the room. Luckily, you're back in and things are fine now, right? There's no controversy this week, is there?
Well, I mean, if you want the honest to God truth, I am in my pajamas as we talk. Does that mean anything to anybody? I don't know. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was gonna say I'm at an Airbnb right now in Baldwin Park, California, and I've always been, it's just kind of amusing over the years. You know, I do broadcasts like this, and no one has a clue that I'm in their upstairs bedroom talking to millions of people all over the country, and down there, doing dishes and stuff. And here's a complete stranger upstairs talking to the world on the radio. It's just so funny that that's what's going on right now. So anyway, sorry about that.
Well, no, that's quite all right. So you're in an Airbnb. What, are you borrowing the guy's room, or do you have the whole abode to yourself?
No, you know what I do. So I'm single, right? I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife. I live pretty simply. And so in between, when I'm working in destinations and working with these tourism offices, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get an Airbnb, but I just get a room. So you can rent a room in someone's home, and it's dirt cheap, and generally speaking, they're nice, clean, comfortable, it's safe, and so that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm literally right around the corner from the original location of In-N-Out, if you know the In-N-Out burger chain.
Yeah,
so kind of little trivia there.
All right, well, we'll get to some of that a little bit later on if we have time. So, where is the original In-N-Out burger location?
Baldwin Park, California. It was right down. Now the original location is gone because the freeway went in, so they had to tear it down. But they built this really cool little replica, basically catty corner to where the original was, and it's the exact same size as the original was. And you can go. I mean, it is tiny, McGraw. It is a tiny, tiny place, and I think it was the first restaurant with a drive-through in all of California. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the case. So kind of cool.
Growing up in St. Louis, you've had a White Castle, and I'm assuming you've had an In-N-Out burger. Which is better?
Yeah. Oh, In-N-Out is. I'm not a fan of White Castle. White Castle originally from Wichita, Kansas. By the way, did you know that?
This will be Bill Cleveland's last segment on the show. You keep bad-mouthing White Castle like that.
Oh, thank God! I've been trying to get kicked off for 8 weeks. Okay. No, I'm just not a fan of White Castle. I've never heard of White Castle.
All right. So your big trip this week was you went up Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite drives in the entire country, the Pacific Coast Highway, Highway 1, in particular through California. And so this week I was in a town called San Simeon. So it's kind of the gateway to Big Sur, if you know what that is. It's this 90-mile stretch of the coastline that runs from San Simeon all the way up to Carmel, California, and known for these just beautiful, dramatic cliffs. And you got the redwood trees and, of course, the rest of Highway 1. And I'd never spent any time in San Simeon, and so decided to do that, and just a really cool area. And the one thing, we'll talk about a handful of things I did while I was there, but the biggest thing was going to Hearst Castle. Have you ever heard of Hearst Castle?
Yeah, this is not the famous Citizen Kane Castle, right?
I don't know about that. It's William Hearst, who was the
William Hearst, who was supposed to be Citizen Kane. That was the whole take on the whole movie.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never seen it.
Well, now you have to see the movie because
I'm eating a White Castle, I guess. Yeah.
Look, I don't want to take away from the Hearst Castle, but William Randolph Hearst, right? The Hearst Castle.
Yes.
Hearst newspapers, and was George Foster Kane in Citizen Kane, and that was where the whole thing came from. So there you go. So I will shut up. Tell me about the
No,
Hearst Castle.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Orson.
Yeah.
It's Orson Welles' masterpiece, Citizen Kane, and it's a takeoff
that I've heard of.
on William Randolph Hearst. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
No, I've heard of the movie. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah. I hear you. So tell me about the castle.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So you get there to this visitor center and you hop on a bus and they take you up to this huge, hilltop, right? And so I don't know how many miles it is up to the top, but as you're going all the way up there, and you look and you can see this big mansion, this castle up on the hill, and you learn later on that they had to like build a road to bring all this material up the hill to build this monstrosity. So that's pretty cool. And then so the house itself, or the mansion, it's 165 rooms, and it took them 30 years to build this thing. And what's really funny, McGraw, is we all get off the bus and you walk up, a couple of sets of steps, and then there's this beautiful building, and it's overlooking the Pacific Ocean, and there's probably 30 people on our tour, and people are taking selfies and they're taking the photos, and the tour guide goes, yeah, this is a guest house. this isn't the Hearst Castle, and so he told a little bit about it. He's like, Walt Disney has stayed here, and a lot of different celebrities of the day, it would stay in the home, and there were other guest houses on the property, and so they have several tours that you can go through. I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 different tours, and because you cannot possibly see the entire place in one tour. The tour that I took was, I think, only like 7 rooms, and they were gigantic. So you're in like his dining room, like a formal dining room, and this table, it just went on and on and on. He'd have these dinner parties, William Hearst would, and he'd just invite all these people, and they'd all be sitting at this huge, long table. And you go through the billiards room, and he had a big movie theater, and the pool. Oh my God, the indoor pool and the outdoor pool. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And but I saw like 7 rooms, and I asked the guy, well, how many rooms? And he goes, 165. Like, how does somebody see this in a day? And you can't, And so what they do is on other tours you can take. Because the rooms like upstairs, the upper floors, they're smaller, so you can see more of those. But they're more intimate tours. You would do those with 5, 10 people, something like that. But it was really interesting to learn about the guy. It was interesting. He hated drunk people. So like if you came to one of his parties and got drunk, they'd kick you out. Like he did not like that. He likes conversing with people and hearing different stories. And I guess he would use some of those stories in his various newspapers that he owned. But I'd always heard of the Hearst Castle, and I'm sure I drove past it a handful of times while I was traveling on the Pacific Coast Highway. And I'm so glad that I stopped this time to take the tour, because it was really, really cool.
You really need to do yourself a favor and go see Citizen Kane, because after going to see the castle, and
I'll appreciate it more.
You'll appreciate it so much more. Not to mention, you now know more about William Randolph Hearst, and of course,
yes,
Patty Hearst, right? You've heard.
Yes,
I know you're younger. Yeah, Patty Hearst was the granddaughter. Did they talk about that at all on the tour?
They other than at the end, a few people asked the question, Patty Hearst, who was, and so it was his granddaughter, but no, they didn't really cover her too much.
Yeah. So so it's just a museum now? Is it functioning in any way as a family residence of any kind?
So it's like a California state park, if I understand correctly, and so they charge an admission. Was pretty reasonable. I think like $30 or something to take a tour. And like I said, they had a handful of different tours you can take. And so, you show up, you get on a bus at the visitor center. They take you up the hill to the home. No one lives there anymore, but it is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. The only thing I can compare it to was the Biltmore, because I've been to the Biltmore in North Carolina.
Yeah.
But just a different type of home. Very interesting.
All made from newspaper money. Right.
newspapers. He owned radio stations. He had film companies. And the company, it's still around. They do a bunch of stuff still in
Yeah.
media. But
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. The newspaper, and then apparently, like, he would have to have a copy of each of his newspapers every single day brought to him, and he would read through them all. And he was very hands-on. But from what I understood, seemed like a pretty decent guy.
Yeah. Pretty neat deal. All right. Yeah. No, a must see. You know what? Yeah, no, it sounds pretty exciting. Some of the pictures online, that indoor pool is crazy till you see the outdoor pool.
Yes, it's unbelievable. And then apparently, and I don't want to spend the whole time talking about Hearst Castle, but apparently he also would change his mind a lot. So the architect was a female architect. I can't remember her name, but she did a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool projects. But so they would be working on something. And again, you have to remember, they're bringing all this material up this gigantic hill, miles and miles up this hill. And he would change his mind on stuff. So they'd have to knock down walls and do whatever. But it took them 30 years and finally got it done.
They should have turned it into an Airbnb, and you could have stayed there for the night.
Yeah, I bet I couldn't afford that Airbnb.
Right.
But it's a cool stop on Highway 1. So again, the Pacific Coast Highway, it's so beautiful. Now the best way to do the Pacific Coast Highway is heading south, so that as a driver you see the ocean and you can see some of these, the cliffs or whatever. But it's just a really great stretch of road, and technically it runs all the way up, obviously the coast of California, with some exceptions. You're not on the coast, proper the entire time.
Right.
But and it's not always open either. So that was really cool that I was there when it was open, because they have landslides and parts of the road collapse from the weather and everything. So it was open all the way, which was great. So I got to do the entire highway this time. And yeah, San Simeon was really cool. A lot of these, I stayed in a place called the Cavalier Oceanfront Resort. It sounds like way more swanky than it really is. It was a really nice place, but it was real. It was affordable. You can you're right on the water. They had a really cool restaurant on site, and then you're also near Cambria. You've probably heard of Cambria. That's there, the cool little downtown area. And then one thing I have to mention that a lot of people do, it's kind of there's a handful of stops along the highway that everybody makes when they do this trek, and one of them is a place to see elephant seals. Do you know what these? Have you seen an elephant seal?
I have not seen an elephant seal.
Okay, while we're talking, you have to Google elephant seal. These are you've heard the phrase a face only a mother could love. That's what this is. It's like an elephant and a seal. But they're very fascinating. And there's this stretch of Highway 1 in San Simeon where they will they come in, and I can't remember how many thousands of these elephant seals there are in the area, in the waters, but they'll come up and they mate and then they give birth there. And I gotta tell you, it's one of those things almost like a train wreck. Like you don't really want to watch these things mating, but it's so bizarre that it's hard to look away. It was so strange. And then, everybody's got their cameras out, and I'm like, what you're taking a picture of here, right? What's going on down there. Do you not hear the sound? Oh my God, it was so bizarre. But you have to look up what maybe it's just me. Maybe other people think they're adorable. I did not think they were adorable, but I did think they were interesting, and that you have to stop and check that out.
And they also have signs on the beach that say seals resting, do not disturb. So at least they give them room to do what they got to do.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking somebody should be playing some of that, dirty music that they had,
Bow chicka bow wow, chicka 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 bow wow.
Exactly. But that's what they're doing, and I thought, I don't want to watch this, but I also can't stop looking.
Mother Nature is a beautiful thing. Hey, why do you want to go south? Why do you want to go south on Highway 1 and not north?
So when you're heading north, you're on the cliff side. Not the you're closer
I see.
to like
I
the
see.
rocks.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. So when
Yeah.
you're going back down south, you're much closer. But and I should say it's also hard to because they have a lot of pull off areas where you can pull off and take a photo or really kind of take in the views and things like that. It's really more difficult to pull off when you're heading north because let me
Got
tell
it.
you something. These people drive like maniacs up there. There was a guy. This has nothing to do with San Simeon, and this was way north of San Simeon, but somebody drove off the dang cliff while I was out there. It was a big news story up near like Monterey. Somebody had just went off the cliff, and I was like, "Oh, I can see how that happens because people drive like crazy people."
Yeah.
But it is amazing. It's an amazing, amazing stretch of highway.
All right. Pacific Coast Highway. Bill on the road. You got stuff on your website and Facebook and stuff? People can check it out?
Done a lot of photos on Facebook. Folks can check it out. Haven't had a chance to do any articles yet, but I'll get those up in the next couple of weeks for some little fun facts and some tidbits for folks who want to go to San Simeon. But yeah, it's a great spot.
All right. Hearst Castle. Put that on the list of things to do
Yes.
next time you're in California. Bill Cleveland, Bill on the road. Go to sleep. Thanks for checking in. We'll talk to you next Thursday. Thanks, my friend.
All right. Thanks. See you later.
You got it. Bill on the road. BillOnTheRoad.com. Hearst Castle. Yeah, you got to go see. Bill's a little younger than I am, so but Citizen Kane. It is. It's a great movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it is a great movie. And a lot of cinematic firsts with Orson Welles and Citizen Kane. And, of course, Rosebud. Back in a moment. America at Night.
America at Night